This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there, Stuff Kind of Dumb, and welcome you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. The birthday boy for today, August the 23rd, is an icon in the Asian community. I know a lot of people think that I'm not being fair to Asians and all that. That's not the truth. It's just, trying to find someone who's had a cultural impact on a non-traditional sport. It's huge. Because when you think about the NBA and Asians, you don't think too much. You think of, Yao Ming is the first thing to come to mind, and obviously it does. And then you got, what else you have? You have Eugene Ling, you have the new guy from Toronto. Well, there's a guy in Washington, Hachimura, but anyway, not really good. So, this guy, Jeremy Lin, he is now 33 years old. He's a Taiwanese American professional basketball player. I thought he was just Chinese. I thought he was from Taiwan. Yeah, Taiwan's part of China, though, too. He plays for Beijing in the Chinese Basketball Association. He basically was known for his job in helping the Knicks in the 2012 season coming into prominence and the cultural phenomenon known as Linsanity. In fact, he was the first American of Chinese or Taiwanese descent to play in the NBA, and is one of the few Asian Americans to play in the NBA. In fact, he was the first Asian American to win an NBA title with the Raptors in 2019. Lane, of course, grew up in the San Francisco area, so yeah, it helped him out, all that. So he was born in Torrance, United States, but he's Taiwanese. Anyway, Lin decided to try for a few dream schools. He actually sent his resume to all the Ivy League schools, which was weird, because basketball players from the Ivy League usually is just for academics and not for sport. Bill Bradley was one of the real exceptions. But anyway, he tried to go to Cal Berkeley or the Cal Golden Bears. And his dream school, Stanford and UCLA. But the Pac-10 schools wanted to walk on. Harvard and Brown guaranteed a spot on their teams, but Ivy League schools don't offer sports scholarships. But basically, Harvard assistant coach thought he could be a good recruit. Harvard said that Lin would be their top recruit. However, they actually thought Stanford was going to offer him a scholarship, but it didn't. So Lin went to Harvard. Lin was not the most physical guy on the team, but he was still playing well enough. He was consensus all Ivy League first team. So he looked pretty good for Harvard and all that. So he looked pretty good. I mean, Lin actually was the first player in Ivy League history to record over 1,450 points, 440 rebounds, 400 assists, and 200 steals. Like, over those marks. He graduated from Harvard with a degree in economics and a GPA of 3.1. No one decided to go with Lin in the NBA draft. Well, players from Ivy League schools don't get the big breaks. Well, he was a smart passer, but he had a flawed jump shot and a thin frame. Lin would join Dallas in the summer league and all that. He looked okay. He actually got offers from Dallas, the Lakers, and the Warriors. So Lin signed a 2-year deal with Golden State. It was partially guaranteed for the 2010-11 season, and then The Warriors had team option for the second season. So Lynn probably has a cult following because of the San Francisco Bay Area. He was appreciative of the support he got from fans. He didn't get many minutes because Steph Curry and Monta Ellis were ahead of him on the depth chart, and they were ball handling guards. Toronto even decided to give him a Asian Heritage Night in November of 2010 to coincide with Lynn's visit with the Warriors. Lynn kept getting assigned to the Warriors D-League affiliate in Reno. He seemed okay. The Warriors saw Lynn as a potential backup for Steph Curry. Anyway, Lynn actually worked to improve his jump shot during the offseason by abandoning the shooting form. So he increased his strength, doubling the weight he could squat, and could do a lot more pull-ups. So he increased his body weight, about 15 pounds of muscle. But because of the lockout, he never got a chance to work out for the new Warriors coach, Mark Jackson. So he got waived. Houston claimed him off waivers in 2011. And played the preseason, but the Rockets waived him before the start of the season because they needed payroll to sign Samuel Delabere. Like Houston picked him up, but the problem is Houston had 3 guards who had guaranteed contracts. Kyle Lowry, before he was a Raptor. Goran Dragic. That's weird. Goran Dragic now plays for the Raptors. And Johnny Flynn, who didn't play for the Raptors. But anyway. The Knicks decided to waive Chauncey Billups for cap space to sign Tyson Chandler. But after an injury to Iman Shumpert, the Knicks decided to claim Lynn off of waivers to be back up behind Tony Douglas and Mike Bibby. And Baron Davis was hurt too. They put him 4th on the point guard depth chart. However, he impressed the Knicks and all that. Mike D'Antoni decided to put Jeremy Lin into the game in February. And Lin didn't do so well. However, Lin shocked everyone with a 25-point performance against the New Jersey Nets on February 4th. And Lin's point guard mentality was huge. When Lin got to the starting lineup, the Knicks went on a 7-game winning streak, including on Valentine's Day, with the Knicks being in Toronto, that Lin hit a 3-pointer with less than a second left to knock off the Raptors. Lin was the first NBA player to score 20 points and 7 assists in each of his first 5 starts. He was getting very impressed. It was impressing a lot of people. In the 12 starts before the All-Star break, he was 9-3. The Knicks were 9-3 with him in the starting lineup. So he went to the Rising Stars Challenge at an All-Star weekend. He was omitted from the original roster, but because of his stardom, he was added on. But the Knicks replaced D'Antoni with Mike Woodson, who didn't run pick and rolls as well as D'Antoni did, and Lin had excelled. Lin, unfortunately, would have a small meniscus tear in his left knee in March of 2012 and missed the regular season. Well, the Knicks did okay, but they really missed him. So a lot of the Knicks actually resented Lin during his period. The Knicks decided to give Lin a chance to seek other offers. the Rockets gave him a $28.8 million contract over 4 years, which was shocking. The Knicks didn't match the deal because they were allowed to match Houston's deal as him being a restricted free agent. So the Rockets decided to make Jeremy Lin like a star in their print ads and all that. But Lin basically struggled and all that. He was down and out in a sense. Lin just basically came off the bench, and then Lin was traded in 2014, July after the 2014 season, along to the Lakers alongside a first and second round pick in 2015, because the Rockets wanted to sign Chris Bosh, but they failed. They wanted to clear cap space. He played 1 year with the Lakers, but they only won 21 games. So Lin was healthy, but he was being put on the bench and all that. Then he went to Charlotte for a year. He almost went to the Knicks, but the Knicks drafted a guard to deal with that Jerry Grant, and it didn't work out. So Lin basically was backing up Kemba Walker. Lin would shock the Raptors again, December 17th, 2015, by scoring 35 points. So Lin could only play 1 season for Charlotte. He became an unrestricted free agent, and Brooklyn decided to snatch him up for a 3-year, $36 million contract. He was injured for a lot of the time with the Nets and all that. And then July 2018, he was traded to Atlanta. The Hawks acquired him because they needed a mentor for rookie point guard Trae Young, who was the number 5 pick in the 2018 draft. They decided to buy him out. And after clearing waivers, Lin signed with the Raptors on February 13th, 2019. The Raptors needed someone like him because the Raptors had troubles. Fred VanVleet was out with an injury, and they traded DeLon Wright for Marc Gasol. Lin struggled, averaging 7 points a game. Basically, in the playoffs, he was playing in garbage time because the Raptors relied on Kyle Lowry and VanVleet. Lin said that his patella injury in 2017 affected his athleticism. But Lin did, in fact, play at least one game in the NBA Finals, which meant he could do all that. He only played 27 minutes in the playoffs, but it's still good enough. He became a free agent July the 1st. But nobody signed him. He resigned his fate. He was resigned to his fate and signed in China with the Beijing Ducks of the Chinese Basketball Association. He actually had offers to play Russia, Israel, and the EuroLeague. Jeremy Lin would be an icon for it. And then, in the Chinese League offseason, he sought a return to the NBA. And Golden State decided to add him to their G League affiliate, the Santa Cruz Warriors. Golden State said they would sign and release him to secure his G League rights for Santa Cruz, but they couldn't get a clearance letter. However, the NBA passed a rule saying that teams could designate one 5-year NBA veteran to fill a spot on their G League team. So Golden State secured Lin. So he played 9 games. Unfortunately, though, there were a lot of people who kind of were racist towards him and all that. And in June, he going back to the Michigan Ducks. Lin was going to be part of the Chinese Taipei / Taiwan national team for the FIBA Asia title, but because of an injury, Lin couldn't play. So Lin has a Taiwan passport now. So in 480 games in the NBA with Golden State, New York, Houston, LA, Lakers, Charlotte, Brooklyn, Atlanta, and Toronto. So that's 1, 2. So he played for 8 teams in a 9-year NBA career. That's pathetic, if you ask me. Like, yeah, he averaged 11.6 points a game, 4.3 assists per game. He only played 25 playoff games in his career. He played 8 for the Raptors, including one in the finals, which meant he was eligible to get a ring. He played for Harvard. He did okay, but unfortunately, the racial issues have got into him. Anyway. Yeah, the problem is that, him being Asian and all that, he's getting a lot of racism, racial profiling, kind of like the black players sometimes. But yeah. Anyway, Lin has had some big problems with racism and all that. But he does have a popular YouTube account, which is nice. So, Jeremy Lin actually was the first athlete from any of the major sports leagues to produce content for the digital sports platform Whistle Sports Network, which was amazing. All that. And that Jeremy Lin would help Asian Americans get a popular sports guy. Good old Linsanity. He got on a couple of covers of Sports Illustrated, which is pretty amazing. The Knicks had a great sale and all that. So yeah, he got a lot of stuff. He got a lot when Linsanity happened. Basically, Chinese apparel came out, which was great. And then, lots of things went good for him. All that. Here's the Linsanity. He got some endorsements and all that. Lin actually has donated to Harvard University to support financial aid and renovations to a pavilion. Nice. $1 million. So, of course, he's known for being an evangelist, Protestant, all that. Lin's younger brother was a professional player in Taiwan, and his older brother studied dentistry at NYU. So, yeah. It was amazing for Jeremy Lin to bring hope to the Asian American community. But unfortunately, people are sometimes not interested. Kind of pathetic, don't you think? It just sucks. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.